Ladies and gents, we have what is known in the business as a live stream broadcast. So here's what's going on today. Mr. Rushmore, first of all, thank you for checking it out. You're the only live viewer, so you can talk to me and text to me like it's just the two of us. No one else is here. However, we are recording this. It will be chopped up later on today, this week, whenever, to, get that VOD business on the YouTubes. So I am, of course, bootlegging this stream to a certain extent. So there's not going to be much audio, even though I think it's going to be dry. I will break down what in the world everything means and why this is even a big deal today. The Sony A7IV, the A7 III revolutionized the YouTube game. So many people you watch are using that camera. It was close to being my version of a perfect camera, even though such a thing doesn't really actually exist. It got pretty close. So what we're doing is I'm checking to see when they start in less than 3 minutes. I've got another computer to listen off of. The plan is to not pipe the audio in from this thing. I don't think anyone's really going to care live. But this is one of the benefits of getting away with being a smaller YouTuber. You can just jury rig some stuff. But we'll get through it. I woke up this morning with a few new subs. Where did that come from? How did that happen? Thanks for checking everything out, y'all. I'm gonna assume it was from the Oculus videos, which I just got a new Oculus headset, so I've got to come back later on and, not a new headset, a new strap for the Oculus headset. So I'm gonna tell everybody how that experience went a little bit later on. If not this week, next week, we'll have something for that. Let's see here. We've got some audio, we've got some background music. I'm not gonna rock these. I'm gonna wait for the broadcast for the good old-fashioned AirPods. And they're starting their 2-minute thing. Got two different cameras going here. I'm gonna mute on that audio. There's a lot to monitor. But the tank top and the barely 50 degrees in here. Somehow it's cooler inside than outside. I don't know how that works. So this camera is almost pretty much spoiled. I wanted to go over everything that a rumor site got right. And people hold rumor sites in this weird regard. Like if it's wrong, they're complaining, and it's a rumor site. If it's right, they're saying it's spoilers. You cannot win with the internet, I suppose. So we're gonna talk about Sony Alpha rumors later on. I've got some notes here. That's my grocery list. That's not notes. Get eggs. 60 seconds or so, give or take. Two different monitors. They've got different things going on. They're in two different places. I'm gonna actually turn my music down ever so slightly. We'll keep that going. Let's full screen it right here. Oh, I can stretch, even though I've got monitors all up in my eyeballs. No, we're gonna toy around with if we can actually blow some of this Sony audio through. Transition. All right. Spoiler alert, it's gonna be the A7IV. It's coming. There's no getting around this. Like B Alpha. Somehow my screen is gonna be behind. Okay, now we're getting there. I'm not sure. I am on the American stream or English stream. Assume I am. So this is how these things go. Like, the weirdness of not being able to stream this is bizarre because this is essentially a giant commercial Even though you want to put, I don't know, announcement event or whatever on it and put fancy shots in there, these things are commercials. You don't want to share commercials. And also YouTube putting 2 ads in front of 60-second commercials that you want to watch, which are trailers, or 2 minutes. And even putting 30-minute ads for other series in front of your trailer. That's another topic. 33 megapixels. We knew that was going to be the case. They got that right. The Bion's XR, so new sensor CPU. 33 megapixels is going to be perfect for wedding days. That's why that matters. The 26 or so the other one had was not bad. Presets. Hardly no one really uses in camera, but I suppose it's novel. People will use that. The eye autofocus, Sony really was ahead of the curve in that. Canon's got some stuff to say about that though. They're really good on eye autofocus. S-Log3. Big deal. It's S-Cinetone. This is why this camera is stepping on the toes of the A7S3. That is a humongous deal. Is it beyond basic? We've got a logo. We've got a screen grab. I don't have the bootleg one anymore. Bootleg one in. We don't have the jury rig one. Full frame back illuminated. The last one was back illuminated. CMOS sensor. These are all things we know. This is scientific busy, so to speak. I'm gonna assume they're talking about noise in the camera. I'm gonna say that the A7S3, the one thing that's gonna have it be almost 1,000 more, 800 to 1,000 more, is gonna be that it's still gonna be a better low light beast than the A7, I wanna say 3, but now the A7IV. The low light is gonna be incredible on a camera that costs more, almost military grade. However, this won't be a slouch. And when you're shooting things like weddings in places that are like a cross between a underground cave and a jail cell underground, you need that low light performance. This is where it comes in at. Creative look. That is, so there's hardcore watching, there's casual watching, maybe not. I think if you're watching this, you're kind of hardcore, but I guess for the casual, they care about presets in camera. No one really uses that. 759 autofocus points, almost 94% coverage. That just means like a kid can run side to side in the frame. Also useful when doing family portraits in photography with the little ones that won't stay still. That's why that matters. That's why that's important, but that's not super revolutionary. You know, a camera in that price range, $25.99, we think it's what it's gonna be. It should be that way. Autofocus, I expect to be top notch. This is why Nikon, why Fuji can't get ahead of the curve, because autofocus is just not there with them. Animal autofocus is indeed in the camera, which is very funny to think about. But yes, it is very, very good. I tested that out on the A7S3. Animal eye autofocus is incredible. Bird autofocus is a big deal as well. For wildlife photographers, things like that, you're going to want your bird autofocus. Something else, even though I don't shoot sports stuff, a situation like this with someone on a bike is going to be fantastic for autofocus too. My poor laptop, it pauses when I take out the AirPods. So you're trying to track moving subjects. This just helps. And I don't want anybody to say this is cheating in photography. If the tools exist, use them. If they were to break down the camera, then you have to use your eye and guess where people are going. Okay, you need that skill set too, but this right here is gonna make life. You're gonna get way more shots out of, say, if you shoot 10 in a row. The camera can help you get 9, where you might hopefully get 1 if you were just doing this manually. So that's why the camera is important to use and why you pay the cash for it. RAW and JPEG, that's almost a preference kind of thing. If you want to use RAWs or JPEGs, if you want to shoot both, of course I shoot RAW. YeagerShots, RAW. There's new flashes that are supposed to be announced as well, I believe. What's my voice cracking? Where's my water? Their flashes are insanely overpriced. I mean, some are like, well, why would you need a flash if you're so good on low light? Because flash lighting can look really great, as seen here on the screen right now. It can come in handy a lot. You know, they did a very better job of explaining why I use a flash to me. Those smaller flashes can go a long way. However, these lights I got that are off camera, I'll have those out in the field. They're not exactly portable. These should be over $600 like the last ones were though. So if you're doing the math at home, $25.99 plus tax, some insurance, flashes. I'm just spitballing on the flash price. I don't really know. You're over $3,000 without a lens. This is something I care about. H.265. Okay. Series Light. What do you mean H.265? Does that rhyme with Siri? 10-bit 422. This is where it's stepping on the more expensive A7S III. You get 4K from 7K oversampling. The A7 III also had oversample that was shot at 4K. 4K 60. Full HD 120p. That's 1080p full HD. 4K in slow-mo. Sort of the standard. Now, this camera needed to get it. It's Cinetone and the so-called cinematic look. That has infinite meanings. What's cinematic? So 15 stops dynamic range. This is also important. So in more expensive cameras, dynamic range comes into play. Say if I'm in the frame, the sun and skies behind me, you want to be able to see all of that just like your eye would. In cameras, one can be blown out greatly. On the iPhone, they've got some digital ways to process that stuff, and it looks not as pleasing as we're used to seeing with film that can do dynamic range well. So that's why the stops are dynamic range. Will it be 15 stops? No, that's not. They always say something around 15. It's always upped a little bit, but it should be up there. That is more marketing speak, the whole 15 stops. There's so many variables to that. So autofocus and autofocus and video, that is brand new. That's a big deal. I'm curious to see if there's some talk about streaming, what I'm doing right this very second. This is the first time for autofocus and birds. Okay, so specifically targeted towards birds. Okay. It's crazy how fast those motors move. Again, humans can't quite pull that off, so that's why that's a big deal, to be able to have tech that can do that. The E-mount. And they're going to version 2s of some of the more popular focal lengths, which they needed because they were starting to show their age a little bit. Which is fine. It's a good feature. Autofocus assist. There was always ways to just flip or do something or set your settings to go from autofocus to manual on the fly. Been doing that forever. Older APS-C Canon Rebel cameras, you could cheat something like that by moving the ring at top. It was janky. It wasn't the smoothest thing, but okay. Throw it in the presentation, and why not? Now, this I got a question. This can come down to the lens, not so much, but I guess if they're doing something software-wise to compensate for breathing in a lens, that's a whole nother video. It's just if one area's in focus, you go behind it. How much of a zoom a lens can do, that's breathing of a lens. Breathing focus, there's so many ways to break it down. Focus, breathing, that's what that is. So if software can help smooth that out, okay. But that's really kind of a hardware lens thing. Their stabilization, I don't believe, is as good as Canon's and the R5 and R6 from everything I've seen. I have not done those tests myself, but I'm looking at some A7IV footage. It's kind of the same on stabilization, but there's software on the back end to do that. Catalyst. That is the said software that I was talking about. Catalyst can definitely give you the hookup. Why am I not full screen? Duh. We got enough stuff covering the screen up on our bootleg stream. Look at those 6 figures in glass right there. Oh, yummy. This is a good idea, good example of dynamic range. Wait, I think I know whose footage that was. It's another YouTubers. Resembles their footage. That microphone was nice without a cord hanging off of it. That microphone's gonna rock so hard. Microphone's over 300. Without a cable, that's what it's all about. Ibert's still in movie, still not seeing anything super blown away right there. Blowing me away. Vlogging. The Casey Neistat, so was the flip screen. This is why I complain so much. I come to bootleg photos, couldn't tell you if it was a flip screen. This new dial is brand new. I'm not crazily excited about a dial, but the new menu is still kind of a hot mess from what I understand, but you can customize it. People say that's bad design to have a bad menu. I'm like, no, if you can customize it, you can never get a menu to work for everybody once. Even cheaper cameras, I will customize a menu if I've got it to use how I want to use. Canon's got sort of a menu that makes a tad bit more sense, but even that you'll still customize and use the features that you want to use most out of it. So don't care about bad menu talk. And so many of these buttons are customizable, as it says on the screen. Shooting scenes and shooting movies. So I'm gonna step in here real quick and tell you I'm all over the web. Subscribe on other places. Hit us up over there. Check us out. Everything's pretty much what I assumed it would be here on the camera. It's like spoilers for Sony Alpha rumors again. They've really been nailing this, but I know these cameras are out to a lot of people, so the so-called leaks were gonna come. I took it off the screen, the tally ring, the record buttons on top, A7S III, very, very convenient. You can also map it to the shutter button to start recording video. Very, very convenient, highly customizable. One reason why you can shoot and switch back and forth so fast. What is this call? We've got a call from Scam Likely. Scam Likely, ladies and gentlemen, is up this morning. $1 million LCD panel. So what's the EVF? I don't think they said that. That monitor over the LCD screen is worth talking about. This is one of the we're not expecting bad hardware from Sony. The first view off the rack might be a little bit There's some shutter problems with the A7 III 3 years ago. But no, we're not expecting the shutter to be, or the heat to be a problem. I'm not even talking about R5, but I am kind of talking about R5. It's not a dig on the R5 from Canon, but I expect the hardware to be up to snuff when it comes to Sony. More a hardware company, while Canon is probably more a lens company. They will say that. That's not opinion. That's their propaganda. I need to see something about streaming. Is this where we get to some streaming talk? Divider frames? Okay, that seems useful. Movie shot mark. Using with your phone. Imaging edge is what it used to be called. I have a video about that on another channel that's performing quite nicely. Thank you, YouTube. So this is how when you shoot at a wedding or something, you can have photos on a phone ready to go. Wi-Fi to your phone, edit on the phone. If you have someone shooting a wedding with you, they can take care of that. This is good for sports photographers, high-speed data transfer, or really just anybody who needs to transfer images, journalists in the field. Some streaming talk. I'm wondering, you're gonna need a capture card. They're gonna gloss over how bad their USB connectivity is. That's not bad. That's not a bad feature. Which I think most any camera can do though. But still, is there. It's good to know there's not like weird things and quirks left out though, because that can happen with cameras a lot. Just weird stuff omitted for no good reason whatsoever. That soft skin can be hit and miss depending on the face that is softly retouching. Not quite a feature I would be crazy about using. I wanted to know more about streaming capabilities. I know it's going to look good streaming with a capture card. Sony and Canon really could have nailed it if they put better streaming software in their cameras, or just work with that better, but they opted not to. Oh, we got cloud tech. Canon's never really got working well. I wasn't sure if Sony had one or not. When you're in the middle of nowhere shooting though, I just don't know how good that can work. I still have my doubts on that. Just need a hotspot. All right, so cloud service stuff. I'm just gonna make a little adjustment here. All right, how are we looking here? Looking good. So this sounds like something that you're gonna have to pony up for if you want to use some cloud service. Okay, I like that consideration of the environment. Sorry, you can't hear this, so trying to clean up the environment, leaving less of a footprint, carbon footprint, as they say in tech. Moving some stuff around the lens, around the screen. The camera's on the brain. Packaged better and more recyclable packaging. That's good. This is all part of e-waste. I'll never dunk on this being a good thing. Amazon, hello, your boxes are ridiculous. Way too many. Why do I have 32 messages, phone? Is that Sony already calling me? Take the stream down? Like you had to do Tony and Chelsea, take your video down? This is kind of stuff you put in these kind of announcements, event videos. I got no problem with that. Anything to help the environment, I'm not dunking on. But I did want to hear more about streaming. I'm assuming there's going to be a website with more details to dig deep down into. It seems like we're getting to the end of this. I figured 15 minutes, probably wouldn't be more than 4. Sony doesn't really hold you all day for these kind of things. So Sony Alpha Rumors probably has more info than the professionally Sony made video here does. I was gonna do a whole what did they get right, what did they get wrong. It looks like everything is right, and I can't say what's wrong because Sony did not confirm nor deny some of their other things, like the 4K streaming, and that just seems like a no-brainer. It would be there with a capture card. It ain't working straight off a USB from the camera to your PC or your Mac. That's not how these work well at all. Let's see if pre-orders are up and running yet. They never gave a price. They didn't give a price, did they? We'll shoot over to B&H and see what the price is. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our first ever live stream watch along. For those who are like, is that it? Is that all there is to a watch along? Yeah, it's a watch along. This is not a I sold you no bill of goods. It's a watch along. Somebody else is like, why are we talking about this? Why am I talking about this? It's a camera. I'm a photographer. If there's one thing I associate with photographers, it's cameras. So let's close that. Gonna move some things around here. What screen are we in? My screen's too big. I've got too much happening on the screen. All right. You get back over there. Here's what I want to see. I want to see if B&H has the price listed yet. I'm gonna check that out. Let's see, Sony. Is it on the front page? All right, it is on the front page. And to run and learn more. I would like to learn more. Watch live demo at 2 p.m. So what they're gonna do is this sort of media blitz thing where your B&H's, YouTubers of a certain number of subs, anybody they think has an audience is going to have videos of things. This is all coordinated. So if you are subscribing to a lot of photos, you're going to see, including me, you're going to see a whole bunch of thumbnails on YouTube with videos about the A7IV because it's hot. It's a hot traffic thing. You're surfing a trend right here, and it's this nice media blitz that comes together for the company. This is how they do it. Some people don't like it. I don't know a better way to do it yet. I piggyback off of it. I benefit from it. I do it when talking about my own photo stuff completely unrelated to product launches today. More info. Where's that pre-order button? There's generally a pre-order button on here to confirm the price. We're thinking $25.99, $24.98. So not, all right, 25. 25 was what was the thought that it would be. 26 seemed like it leaked yesterday. $25.99. I thought they would do 24 just to undercut the Canon R6 by $100, but 25 is what we all expected. And of course, pre-order doesn't really start until 12 o'clock from B&H out of New York. And we really, look at that stupid price of those CF Express and little tough mini cards. $398 for 160 gigs. Stop it. Stop it. If there's anything that doesn't age well in tech, it's memory cards. I can only imagine in 6 years, oh, the write speed of that card you bought for $400 isn't compatible or up to snuff anymore. Like we know where it's going because we see how it's worked in the past. My Gary V shit today. Okay. That's a whole bunch of boring stuff that I read through on the body. So $2,500 is gonna be the price plus your shipping taxes. Whatever else. I was gonna do a everything you need to know about this camera, but really that will be a off-air thing. Pre-orders are gonna be up and running. We're where 30 minutes live streaming. And that's pretty much all I've got to go over with everybody. This is exactly how I want my funeral to be. Just throw me by the road, curbside. Don't hold you up all day. We're out. I've got some videos to cut together. Hit that like button, subscribe if you liked hanging out here. This is the biggest deal in cameras. This is going to be the future of YouTube videos. I thought the R5, R6 would be. Nope. I was surprised by how much the adoption rate of A7S3 was at $3,500. This is going to be $2,500. I don't love that price, but it does get into some things that the A1 does with nicer autofocus. It does get into some things that the $3,500 video focus Sony A7 S3 it's getting crossed up on these numbers and letters. I will say the full frame does the best job of telling you what product is what, like A7I, A7IV. You know the 4 is the newest one. They didn't even do that good of a job in their crop sensor cameras. The numbers are all over the place. They make no sense. The full frame alpha mirrorless line makes the most sense to follow which camera is which. You're just going in order. It's sequel after sequel. Some are saying they're not that blown away or that impressed. I might sound that way. No, I am. Almost everything is new on the Sony A7 IV. It's almost everything is new from the last camera. The last model from 3-ish years ago. Really, I feel like this might be 4 years until I can get my hands on one of these things. They're going to be a hot commodity. So I don't know what to tell you if you don't think so. Only thing I don't like is the price. The last one was $2,000. We're $500 more on this one. It would have been nice to flirt with that 22, 23. I knew it would be higher, but this isn't too much sticker shot. We kind of knew this is probably going to be the number ever since the beginning of the year, and it kind of fixes all my gripes I had about the last one. So I'm fine with what I see. Coming soon to a photo shoot near you. Hit me up, photo17.com, YeagerShots.com. All the shot callers, Mr. Rushmore, if you're listening, just about except for 3 are being taught to continue photos into the new year. And I've even met some new ones possibly at Target. We'll chat about that later on. All right, everybody. Have a good Thursday. I'm off to do stuff with other stuff. All right, let's transition out of here.